What's up, everybody? So this episode we had a little technical difficulty with our footage. So I had enough to make some clips, but not enough for the whole episode. So I figured just audio this week. So enjoy the episode. It's my good friend Stone Panunzio, aka Prtty Ridiculous. That's his artist name. We talk about some stuff. We laugh. We fucking, yeah. Cool. Welcome. Karl looks a little different today because it's not Karl. It's my buddy Stone. Prtty Ridiculous.
Hello, everybody.
Artist name, social tags, all right here. I'll throw them there for you. We're trying something a little bit different. I was telling Stone, Karl and I have been having a couple guests on recently. And every time, I think because Karl and I interrupt each other, and then I think just naturally we interrupt our guests, and next thing you know, 3 people are talking at once, and then the episode is difficult to listen to. So we figured, kind of dumb it down a little bit, and we'll take turns. So like, Karl will have people on, and I won't be here. I have people on, he won't be here. So we're gonna give it a shot. But Stone,
Howdy.
welcome to the Nobody Loves You podcast. Hey, cheers.
Cheers. What are you drinking?
What are you drinking?
There's vodka on the rocks. It's Kirkland vodka. Kirkland brand
I'm
vodka.
drinking Kirkland vodka on the rocks. No, I'm drinking water. I'll get a drink with you. Let's see. What do I got? Let me go. I'm not gonna go grab that.
Yeah, I could do a little solo dolo chat.
Yeah.
Tell people.
All right. Yeah. Let me go ahead.
All right.
Give you a little intro while I get myself a drink.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Johnson, and I work at the local nail salon. I've been working there now for about 6 years. I'm a professional manicurist. It is not often, but sometimes I will even do anal bleaching. The anal bleaching is a little extra, and that takes a little extra time, and I also charge a lot more for that. But I've been known to do a very thorough job on the back end, and I usually also get paid on the back end. Generally, I enjoy long walks on the beach, but there's nothing I like more than a little anal bleaching. It's been good for me. It's been good. It's a good business. A lot of money in this town in that industry.
Have you ever tried this before?
No, you were telling me it's the Logan Paul fucking off-brand Gatorade.
Yeah, it's so Karl's boss or whatever, he had like a case of it. So I've been drinking it. It's actually pretty fucking good. It tastes like melted popsicle, but I've been really digging into it.
I love how every fucking brand they have like an arm somewhere on it. It's just 200 milligrams of BCAAs. I'm going to be honest. I don't know what that is. What the fuck's a BCAA?
Vitamins.
Vitamins. And apparently they do that. It's someone's right arm.
Well, they got to show you that it's healthy for you.
Exactly. Blue raspberry, naturally flavored. That's never a good sign. Doesn't that shit give you cancer?
Yeah, probably. If you taste it and you think natural flavors, you're going to be like, yeah, there's no fucking way there's natural flavors in it.
And it's 10% coconut water. Logan, if you hear me, I know you have your own fucking podcast, and it's not like you're going to hear us because you don't give a shit with your millions of dollars and your goddamn stupid house and your nice fucking cars or whatever the fuck you do with your time now, getting punched in the face.
I don't think he boxes anymore. I think that's more...
He's in the WWE or some shit now?
Yeah, I think he moved to the WWE.
I want to see him versus like Hulk Hogan or some shit.
I gotta be honest, like I got respect for him going to the WWE because like the whole boxing thing, I mean, it felt very much just like a money grab, and I didn't really have a problem with it. I was like, yeah, all right, like get your money. And then I think Logan was like, all right, I can just do the WWE, which is like fake and way more money.
Way more money.
So I was like, yeah, that's what you should have been doing all along. So like, go for it.
He's already a WWE character.
Yeah,
like he's
pretty
not
much.
He's not a real person. We know this. We know
famous people aren't actually real.
They're not. No, he's not a real person. His brother, I would like to challenge. I'm doing it here on the podcast. I'm gonna get my ass beat because he actually is a boxer. I don't fight. I mean, you could look at me. I weigh 6 pounds soaking wet, and I think if I got in a fight, it would just be hilarious. Because I would just get a punch in the face and I'd be like, "Do it again, do it again," and he would do it again, and then I would look like goddamn. I'm trying to say something that's not off color. I would just look real bad. I don't know if anyone's watching that Yellow Jackets season that's happening right now. I look like Lottie at the end of the last fucking episode. Where she
Yellow Jackets?
Oh, God, it's a great show.
I've never
it's
seen
fucked
it.
up, dog. It's a bunch of soccer girl, like a high school soccer team basically gets stranded in a forest because their plane crashes. And it gets remarkably dark, which, as you could tell from the music I make, I enjoy that kind of media.
Indeed.
Stuff that is a little off kilter, a little bit skewed. It's fun. It's a great show.
Yeah? What's it on?
It's on Amazon Prime via Showtime.
Did you watch Beef?
No, but I've heard it's supposed to be great.
Dude, it is a stress-inducing show. Like, it's one of those shows that just somehow they're able to capture just like the feeling of massive anxiety. It's fucking really good, and the acting in it is fantastic.
Which one is this?
It's the one with what's her name?
Great question.
Ali Wong. I was gonna call her Amy Wong.
Ali Wong and goddamn the dude from Walking Dead, right?
Yeah, they're both fucking fantastic.
Is it a show or a movie?
It's a show. It's made by A24. I think this is A24's first.
Is it
TV
Netflix?
Show? It's on Netflix, but it's made by A24. I'm not usually a big fan of Netflix originals.
I don't have Netflix anymore. I was in a relationship for a very long time. Unfortunately, that dissolved quite recently. And my ex has yet to kick me off of her Netflix. But out of respect, I have not used it.
I feel like as long as you make your own account.
This is to Abigail's Netflix. Thank you, Abigail, for not kicking me off
of Netflix. Thanks for the Netflix.
Thanks for the Netflix, Abigail. She's gonna watch us like that fucking son of a bitch.
So, let's talk about what the people are here to hear. So you have your solo. Yeah, it is your solo project. Your solo music project, Prtty Ridiculous. Is it PRRTY or PRTTY?
PRTTY. E's are expensive. Vowels are expensive in today's world. So I dropped the E. I can only pay for the two I's in ridiculous. That's all I got. And
so Prtty Ridiculous.
Sometimes why?
How do you describe your sound / your music?
my elevator pitch. Well, first I call it nightmare pop. So I thought that was a really wonderful moniker. My buddy Gray texted me one day when I sent him Mando Beat. For those of you that like my music, you know that song. And he said, "What is this, nightmare pop?" And I said, "Yes, it is." And I think that. I think I have to pay him dividends on this one.
Yeah, I mean, I think that kind of sums it up. It's production wise, you've got like it's kind of got that hyper pop thing going on for it, where like it's the sounds of pop, but fucked. You know what I mean? Like it's like, oh yeah, cool. Like you have like an 808 on there, but like fucked up.
Yeah, fucked up. It's Isotope Trash too, everybody. The official Frank's Red Hot of the Prtty Ridiculous brand is Isotope Trash.
What is it?
It's a distortion plugin, but it has everything on it. I quite literally put it on everything, from the vocals to the guitars to the bass and the drums. It's on. There's probably 100 instances of it in the song I showed you prior to us filming. To expand on the elevator pitch, one thing I have a sentence, and I've condensed it down to, if Billie Eilish and Nine Inch Nails stole your car.
They stole your car.
Yeah.
They stole your
That's
car.
the part that gets people. They're like, yeah, Billie Eilish, Nine Inch Nails, cool, okay, whatever. And then stole your car, and they go, why does that work? Mm-hmm. Why is that accurate? I don't know. It's something really stupid I wrote for a Spotify for Artists editorial pitch once. And
I fucking hate doing those.
I hate it too. Now I have people that do it for me, which is nice.
You've put out a lot of fucking music, though.
Yeah, we've been busy, which is good. I'm signing a distribution deal tomorrow.
Yeah. With anybody that I might know, or is it like
it's a business in Nashville called Cadence Music. Hi, Martha. You're probably going to watch this and scrutinize everything I say because that's what they do. But Miss Martha Kenny, everybody, she's fantastic. Her and the rest of my team, Shelby and Alex. There's only 4 of us that do the day-to-day stuff. But we've been working together for a few months, and she just recently started a distribution network via her team at what's called Cadence Music Strategies, and they were helping me with DSP. I kind of brought her on because
wait a minute,
I've tagged her in a bunch of my shit. So
I might follow that on Instagram. So
likely they're doing very well.
I might.
And out of all the artists on their quite extensive roster, they decided to team up with this idiot. I don't know why. I still don't know why. Maybe once she sees this, she can answer that question with more clarity. I know her and I have a call scheduled for tomorrow in which she will tell me that everything I'm doing is wrong and that I should go and just stop. I should stop doing this because I'm wasting my and everybody else's time, and that's quite precious.
I guess I don't follow them on Instagram.
They're great. No, she's fantastic. I love my team. I'm very thankful for them, so I'd like to give them all independent shout-outs here. You know, Shelby and Martha and Alex, all of them have been just incredible. And I don't know if David does the
I do
Instagram
sometimes.
tags here. So
here we go.
We'll,
Right
I'll
there.
send the
There you
information
go.
here, and
I'll go
we'll,
make
we'll
myself
tag you
a
guys.
note.
They're incredible. They've been remarkably instrumental. And then, of course, on the music side, we have Mr. Randy Belcufine. I'm going to butcher that. I just call him.
You're gonna have to send me that.
I'm gonna
how to
have
spell
I got
that.
you. I got you. It's thank God he doesn't spell his last name on Instagram.
Okay,
It's
cool.
as heinously Italian as my last name. So it works. It works quite well. And then we have on the visual side Mr. Luis Zavaleta, who's incomparable, and there's nobody like him on the planet. He's an absolute psychopath. Hi, Luis. You're gonna watch this. He's the greatest person in the world. More than likely going to see him and then party extensively with him at some point this week, if not tonight.
Hell yeah.
Because it is a Saturday evening that we're doing this. We still got some natural light in the room.
So, all right, so there's a couple things I wanted to ask you about. Was one, the volume of music that you put out, but the other thing was the music videos you guys fucking do. They're crazy. Like, they're fucking awesome. So, Luis, he's the one who...
He's the one, yeah. He does everything.
How involved is he in the... like the planning of it? Is the concept all you? Is it multiple people? Is he just camera and editing? Or who's doing what?
It's pretty much a crack shot team. It's Luis and I, and sometimes, if we're lucky, we'll have an assistant. And it's just kind of a rotating cast of whoever we could find. These videos fall together very fast, much in the way that the music is made. So we'll start on the B topic of the music videos. For the videos, Luis and I talk a lot about it, and usually we have a bunch of ideas kind of floating around. We'll meet and we'll go grab lunch somewhere in Burbank where he lives and just talk about it. Like, initially we were going to do a long video, like 7 minutes, for Low and High. High is the next song coming out in a few weeks, which at this point, when this comes out, spelled like that, exactly, will have already have been teased quite extensively. But we basically shot about a bunch of ideas, and after a while knocking it around, then we look at what the budget will allow. That becomes a completely different...
Yeah.
You know, Luis is like, we should hire dancers and actors. And I'm like, Luis, I have maybe $1,000 to spend on this. And even that's cutting it kind of a bit high. Like, these videos do not cost that much. Yeah. And they look very good. And
they look fucking... They're incredible looking, dude. They are on par production quality, like, with... fucking Harry Styles video. Like, they look incredible.
That's all Luis. I mean, of course, I'm sitting there dancing like a fool, as I do, and thankfully I have the ability to kind of shut that on and off at will. It's kind of funny because the camera, I see the red light and goes to action, and then the nurture part of me goes away, and the nature part, which is the absolute psychotic madman that I enjoy being. This is the nature, that's the nurture, and I enjoy doing that. That is a far more authentic variation of what I like to be. But you know, he comes up with a lot of the ideas. Mostly on the day of, we'll shoot stuff and we'll kind of just see what we have. And you know, for the next one for High, again, which will have already been teased quite extensively because we're filming it on Monday. Today's Saturday, so we're filming it in 2 days. So we'll have plenty of behind-the-scenes footage coming out by the time this is out. We're doing an Alice in Wonderland themed, affectionately we're referring to as Malice in Wonderland. I'm going to be wearing a dress, so I apologize for all of the absolutely criminal photos that everyone's going to see of me in a dress.
Couple skirts.
Oh, a few. I was thinking, one of my adult students today, I teach guitar most days, and one of my adult students gave me a fantastic idea that I might take, because I'm going to wear the dress live. I'm just warning you all now. I'm going to catch an indecent exposure charge every time I put my foot on the monitor, but that's fine. I'm going to tape...
you have to go no underwear underneath.
Well, what I was going to do is exactly where we're going. I was going to tape a plush cat right here.
Oh, my God. That's fucking crazy.
Just like, so right out of sight, but when I put the foot on the monitor and do the rock star bullshit, oh shit, everyone's going to be like, oh, huh, okay. I see what kind of show I signed up for, and I didn't think I could see that in the United States for as cheap as this is. You got to go to Tijuana for those, more than likely. But that was one of the ideas. We were thinking about doing the banana, like taping a banana to the inside of it, because that'd be really funny.
There you go. You don't. Have you played live out here?
Not yet.
No. Why not?
I wanted to be able to get people in the room first and sort of build the audience, which we've done, and I'm very, very excited about it. And everything has been in service of that day or the multiple days, because obviously we're not just going to play one show and fuck off. But the big one, when it happens, will probably be, at the moment, it's looking like June. I'll say this much. I didn't underestimate it. I had anticipated it, but damn, these songs are hard as shit to play and sing. They're not hard, independent of one another. Vocals aren't. I'm not a great singer. I'm a skilled guitar player. That's what I do.
I would let the audience know that Stone is like by far, like no question in my mind, like definitely one of the best guitar players. A, I know of, and then B, definitely that I know personally. Like just fucking
thank you.
Ridiculous.
We don't have to say it, but everyone knows. Everyone's gonna say it's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
I did that to myself, as we exclaimed prior to the film. But I even that, like again, if it was just me on guitar and not singing, and I had a backup singer, it'd be so easy to do, and vice versa if I was just singing. But I don't want to do that. I was sitting the other day and playing the songs, and singing them together and practicing the parts. And like some songs are easier than others. Plastic is somewhat easy because it's just I'm in drop B flat for that, so I can just tune down the low E.
Drop B flat.
Drop B flat. I'm in drop B flat for that song I showed you before. High as well. And it's an old Les Paul. I have a 77 Les Paul that I adore, and that's what I'm going to be using for the majority of the show because a lot of the songs are down-tuned, either drop B flat or C standard. And
How? How does it even like...
the strings are flopping in the wind, quite like that banana we mentioned earlier.
That's fucking wild.
But it's
for
low.
anybody who's not a guitar player or musician, they're usually tuned to E. So how many half steps?
Let's see. So E to C, up would be a flat sixth, and then B flat would be a flat fifth. So downward we would
the strings are really
a major
fucking
third.
loose.
It's a major third down. So your fourth fret is your E now. But it's in. I have a 13 gauge, but I play 12s in standard. I play 12 to 54 in standard tuning, which is it's like having a manual transmission in your car. No one wants to drive your car. Yeah, no, but no one wants to drive your car. So when I go to jams and people pick up my guitar and they have not been warned prior to picking it up, they just hand it right back to me and I go, nice. It's like anti-theft. It's wonderful. It's a great, and I really like it. One of the reasons for that I could sort of expand on here is when I was 19, I had to get surgery on my elbows. Both.
On your elbows?
I got my left arm done the day Chris Cornell died in 2017. I remember very succinctly sitting in the hospital bed. I had it's this. If your arm snaps, this is a bit of a PSA. My arm just did it. I don't know.
Yeah, you get a little cracky crack.
That's not your bone. That's the ulnar nerve moving out of the tunnel. It's called the cubital tunnel. And I get asked this all the time. My students will be like, "My hand is like numb when I play, and I have it bent, and it hurts." And I go, "Where is it? The pinky and the ring finger?" And they go, "Yeah." I'm like, "Well, I got some news for you, brother." So I unfortunately had that to a remarkably debilitating and extremely painful degree where if you ever hit your funny bone really hard, my arm felt like that for 2 years straight.
You should talk to Cole because Cole was just starting to complain about his hand going a little bit numb.
That's exactly what it is.
Oh,
if your arm snaps or cracks when you do that, mine just did. That is not the bone. That is the ulnar nerve. It's called subluxation. It's moving. It's moving out where it should be. So I had that pretty bad, really bad actually, in the left arm, and not as horribly in the right arm, but it was a thing. And they had to operate and move it. So I have very little sensation in these two fingers, the pinky and the ring finger here. Very, very little. Pinky way worse than the ring finger, but most of the left hand here atrophied quite extensively. So I have very small muscle mass. So when I play, like the other day I was at a jam and I played a guitar with like 9s or 10s on it, and it feels like nothing's there. It feels like you're just playing a fretboard with no strings on it. So the 12s I can actually physically feel, and then I can get kind of underneath them. And the 13s on tuned that low with a short scale length, it's a Les Paul. It feels like 10s would. It doesn't feel bad, but I want to get like 15s or 17s on there because then it feels like the 12s, and it gives me some resistance. And that's really
You're a crazy person.
I like that stuff. That's what everybody says. Like, pick up my guitar and they look at me, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah." They'll pick up the PRS and they'll be like, "I'll make this face." And they look at me like, "Why do you do this to yourself?" I'm like, "Isn't it great?" And they're like, "No, it sucks."
It's fucking wild. All right, so it's difficult for you to play these songs live, just because there's so many movable. What's your lineup gonna be? Are you gonna do backing tracks? Is everything gonna be live? What's the deal?
It's gonna be a hybrid.
Hybrid?
Because there's just things I can't replicate with 3 people. It's me, Noah Dunn, the incomparable Noah Dunn, who David knows quite well. Noah and I have the same manicurist. And that's how we met. And then Randy, who's my engineer and producer as well, him and I make all the music together. He's a redhead guy, yeah, who we spoke of briefly earlier. Who both are just incredible musicians, and I had the great privilege of getting to know them and becoming quite close. He's going to do synth bass and 8-string guitar. So on every song, there's an 8-string as well that we did, and sometimes it's him playing, most of the time it's me playing. But when we do these tracks, it's nice to supplement the 6-string with a little bit of the heft, because you really can't get as... The best way I can describe it is it's just gritty and much grosser than a 6-string can get, and I enjoy those elements in the production quite a lot. As you could hear, it's kind of messy, and that's on purpose. I didn't come to LA to make friends. I came here to fuck some stuff up. So with the music, I have the great opportunity to do that, and the 8-string adds this layer of just grit that is not possible on a 6-string, because there's only so low you can get. I mean, drop B flat's really cutting it.
Yeah,
because that's a 7-string is a B, so I'm already lower than that. And we are going to do the trio thing. We already made the Ableton live set. We have to get the masters for high, all the tracks. It's already done, but we just got to put the tracks into the Ableton live set, master the live set so all the songs are even volume. And then when we go into a rehearsal room, probably in the next week or two, we will figure out what we're keeping and what we're performing. But I'm going to be playing all the riffs and the guitar parts. I'm going to be singing all of them. We'll have some of the background vocals because neither of them sing. Eventually, I'd like to get someone to sing the backgrounds with me.
Do you have a date for the first show?
I don't have a date, but it looks like late June.
Late June?
Yeah.
Do you know where you want to play?
I found 2 venues that I'm very excited about. One is the place I played with Can in Sugar Pit.
Which one?
Tag him here. The house venue. That backyard that you were at when I was.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
I was talking to Chloe. Here's Chloe.
Chloe.
And she seemed down. Maybe she'll change her mind when she realizes.
What's their label? Psy Sound.
Sound. And they're great. And then I met this girl Leah at another show. I played the following evening with Can, and she runs a warehouse, and she seems more than happy to have us do it. And that's more than likely going to be the first place. I'm trying to do it all DIY. And this is not, I'm going to go on a little LA rant. This isn't to knock all of the We Found New Musics and the fucking So Far Sounds or, brand new whatever bullshit promoters. I love those guys, and I really enjoy going to those shows, but I've also played a lot of those shows as a sideman, and I've...
some of those fucking suck.
They really do.
I'm not going to drop a name.
They really do.
Some of them are fucking atrocious. Some are amazing. I've played some amazing ones, and I've played some dog shit ones.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything. But yeah, I hear you. The DIY thing is fucking sick, especially because you come. I mean, I met you in Boston, and like the first how I kind of came to know you was all the underground shows in Boston, like all the Berkeley kids and stuff like that.
Yeah, those.
But
were
I mean,
fun.
that's where like you kind of come from a little bit, and like I come from the same shit when I moved to Philly. Like DIY shows are fucking dope, and I feel like out in LA they're not.
They're hard to find.
Yeah, they're not as like a thing out here.
It should be. This is the town for it. There's a remarkable amount of talent and a remarkable amount of tenacity, and the people that could don't. And it's, I think, by the simple virtue of most people don't have a house. We have apartments. Like, in earnest, you could throw something out there, but we would get fined. I mean, you would get fined probably an incredible amount if your neighbors decided to.
Yeah, we did a whole episode about how our neighbors already fucking hate us. We don't really give a shit about them. It's all good.
I mean, this is the perfect spot for it. However, you then are straddled with the responsibility both legally and personally.
Mostly the personal thing that I'm just like, I don't want a fucking bunch of people running around my house.
Yeah,
like,
you have to clean up after
clean up.
them.
I got shit. I got expensive stuff. Not really that expensive, but like
You
I don't
got
want my
shit.
fucking laptop being used as a goddamn coaster.
Yeah.
Like
No,
just
you
like
don't.
little shit like
You
that.
know,
that I
and
think,
someone's gonna end up in that studio.
whenever we throw parties, people end up in the studio, and all you my friends who come over, stop going in the fucking studio when everyone's hammered. It's annoying. We got computers in there, and everyone's like putting their fucking beer on my monitors.
Yeah, that I hate. I was at when I played the Psy Sound gig. I don't know who it was, but I remember your face. I was in the corner, and we'd just played, and we were done, and my amp is off to the side, off of the stage, away from the action.
And someone put a beer.
Someone
on
put a fucking beer on it. Only I can do that. If I put a beer on my fucking amp, it's a nice amp. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
If you put a beer on my amp, it's not a problem. If Mel puts a beer on my amp, it's not a problem. There's sort of a, me,
Don't be a cunt.
But if
don't
you
be
don't,
a cunt, guy.
If you don't, yeah, don't be a cunt. If you don't know me and you didn't see me do it,
yeah.
don't do it. At least put a coaster on the damn thing. You know, God. I mean, and you have these very nice, remarkably bougie, beautiful felt.
I think these are awful. They like whenever I put my drink on it, it feels like it's gonna fall. I'm gonna see. You want to keep going, or you want to
Yeah,
call
let's
it?
keep going.
Here? All right, here.
Let's keep
All right,
going. We got
let's
plenty.
have a quick commercial break.
Was that already 25 minutes?
It's like 24. 3, 2, 1. We're back. Oh shit! All right, what the fuck were we talking about?
It's a great question.
I
actually forgot. We can move on.
Live stuff.
Live stuff.
Someone putting a beer on your fucking amp.
Oh my God. Don't. I'm just gonna another PSA. Don't fucking do that.
Yeah.
Don't fucking do that. Even if it's a shitty fucking cheap bullshit amp, don't fucking do that. Don't put a beer on the amp. Come on. Put it on the floor. Kick it over like an adult.
Yeah, like an adult,
Okay.
man.
At the last show, did you notice there was a funny? I had a wonderful beverage that I just some bullshit fucking White Claw thing, and I put it right in the front, and I kept it there. And my amp was clear of any debris and detritus, but there was one moment where I thought I had a little more time, and I went to go hit my vape, as such, and I didn't realize, oh, fuck, I have to jump back in. So I had it in my hand, and I went like this, and I played the chord with, like, the other two fingers. I think I held it like this, and I played with the guys, went, whoop, and I just chucked the vape behind me. And, like, 4 people in the audience went, yeah! Like, they just fucking lost their shit.
That's fucking dope.
When they see a vape the color of my nails, can't really see them. Poop green.
Poop green.
Poop green.
Oh shit! That show was so fucking fun.
That was a good show.
Yeah,
it was a good show. My ankles hurt the next day.
Yeah, I don't know who it was. I know what they look like, but dude, I fucked somebody up in the mosh pit like by accident. Like I fucking annihilated them. Like I don't usually like. And I never, like, some people when you go in a mosh pit, people like throw punches and shit like that. Like, fuck all that. I'm not, I don't do that at all. But I do just throw my body. And I know, I mean, like, I'm not a small guy, but I'm not huge, but I'm fucking dense.
Yeah.
Like, I have a
apparently you're quite the fighter, I've heard.
Yeah, that too. But, well, I used to be. I don't fight people, you know. Hey, man, it's all good. But, like,
David could kick your ass. He'd kick mine too.
Yeah. You just catch me in the mosh pit, bro. Just catch me in the fucking mosh pit.
Apparently, it's a real problem.
Dude, no, I threw my body backwards and I smashed somebody's like head or like their jaw with my head. And I was like, fuck, that hurt me. I can only imagine what your jaw feels like. And I watched them like hit. Not the ground, but they're like, oh shit. They got out of the mosh pit after that one. And I was just like, oh fuck, my bad. That show was so fun.
So what did you do for fighting?
What did I do for fighting?
You know, I also did that.
Martial arts?
Yeah, I did
martial arts?
Shotokan and MMA. I got my black belt.
Shotokan?
I was 4-ton, yeah.
Look at that
I was
name
14.
drop. Look at that little name drop. I did I did martial arts like my entire life. I did
it was like, no, David's a badass. I was like, yeah, I don't doubt it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I would call myself that, but you know, I did Tong Sudo from like, I don't know, 11 to 18. And then like in that time period,
You're a black belt as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I also did some Brazilian jiu-jitsu and a little bit of boxing and then like some MMA stuff. And then in college, I had a very short stint of doing jiu-jitsu again.
Yeah. I'm trying to get back into jiu-jitsu, and every night I have a free night, I get a rehearsal. And I'm like, all right,
yeah,
stop hiring me. Like, please. I want to get thrown around.
Have you done jiu-jitsu before?
No, I haven't. I'm good on my feet. If someone gets me off my feet, I'm fucked.
It's fucking sick. It is. It's unbelievably humbling. When you like when I started doing it in college back in Philly, like I had done it before, so it's like, yeah, like I know how to do, like I know how to do it, right? And then you have these fucking guys, and you're like rolling with them, and they're like not even doing anything to you, just the feeling of having a person's like entire body weight like
On you,
and their
yeah.
chest is just like pressing on your face into the floor, and you're just like, you're not even like hurting me, and I'm fucked right now.
Yeah,
Like I
I'm
can't
fucked.
breathe. It's just it's very
It's intense.
yeah. It's so sick though. It's so
Yeah.
It's such good exercise. It's such good exercise, and it's very I mean, it's kind of a cliche, but it's fucking chess match, and it's so.
it is.
All right, move this little thing here, this little thing here. It's not brute force fighting where you're just like. "Ugh." It's very like if you turn your heel like to a 45-degree angle, it's like so much easier to get someone like off you or something like that. Whatever the fuck it is.
But even knowing that, like I did competitive martial arts for many years, and I used to compete, and I won nationals twice, and then the third time I did, I got second place. And at that point, the crossroad sort of bifurcated, and it was either I did guitar for my life, where I went into and gave all that time that I put into music into the sport. And
I kind of had the same shit.
I mean, you could see me. I don't look like much of an athlete, kids. Like, I'm built like Natalie Portman in Black Swan. So it's like, it's the same amount of trauma and mental illness. But it was so fun. There's something really, I say this all the time, there's something remarkably exhilarating in getting smacked in the fucking face.
Yeah.
Just like, do it again.
I mean, yeah, unless it hurts really bad.
Oh,
Then that fucking
even-
blows.
I remember there was one story my dad tells a lot. My dad was a guy that would come to the competitions with me because I was like 13 years old. And I would always lose the first round without failure. I would get my ass handed to me first round. And I would sit in the corner and I would just regain my composure very slowly over the however many 30 to 45 seconds you have before you're thrust into another round. And my dad goes, "How you feeling?" And between breaths, I go, "I'm gonna kick his ass." And then I won the next 2 rounds.
There it is.
And it was that kid fucking was like, for those of you who know me and have known me at the age of 13, I looked like a young, dainty girl. I still do. Now I have facial hair. If I shave the facial hair, I go from a 6 to a 4 real quick. So I'm going to keep it. But I was not particularly intimidating looking by any stretch of the imagination. Still not. Not at all. But the funny thing is I would do this thing that I remember the guys that trained me were watching on the sideline. I would go goofy, and I would usually fight with your right foot back, and I would switch to my left foot back and my right hand leading, which is a little odd. And they turned to each other and they went, Did you show him how to do that? And they went, "No." Like the other guy goes, "I thought you showed him how to do that." And then what I would do is I would leap in the air, and in these kickboxing competitions, you're usually not allowed to knee, so I wouldn't make contact. But I would leap in the air, knee first, and the hands would go down to block the knee. And then as I came down, I would punch him in the face.
There it
and
is.
It worked every time. Because
yeah.
the instinct is when you see a knee coming for your face, is
Yeah,
to put
you
your
gotta
hands,
throw your
down,
hands down.
and you don't expect fucking the Superman punch in the face. That always got him. It was a completely legal, totally kosher move.
Hell fucking yeah. I didn't know that. I didn't know you did that.
I did that for many, many years, and
competition
I miss it very, very much. And I was trying to get back into trying to get into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu out here. And A, the schools are really fucking expensive.
Yeah, it's expensive.
And B, it's just I don't have time. You know, the nights that I do have off are scant, and I enjoy doing nothing when I do have that time. As much fun as it would be to just get thrown around by much larger people. But as you said, I'm not. My frame is rail thin, so if I have a 45-pound, height advantage or weight advantage in that case, someone who's 100 or I'm 140, so if they're 45 pounds heavier than me, they're about 200 pounds, and give or take a few. They're gonna crush my sternum.
Yeah, you might get a little squishy McSquishters over there.
We look like Flat Stanley. Remember that?
Flat Stanley. My grandpa. I sent Flat Stanley to my grandpa, and
You think it was a sex move?
he was he was a lawyer, and he sent the school a letter like on his like official like lawyer letter with letterhead and all that shit.
The watermark, yeah.
About how his client Stanley Flat was suing the school because he got injured in his travel or whatever. It was so fucking funny.
Did he actually?
Yeah, 100%.
That actually happened.
Yeah, that's a real fucking story. He's like, yeah, Stanley Flat, my client. And it was like a thing because the office was like, what the fuck is going on? We're getting sued. They like didn't put the pieces together. Yeah, it was fucking hilarious.
Colonel Sanders Loving. What's the name of your grandfather?
Bob Gray.
Bob Gray. Bob Gray. Where's Loving come from? It's such a good last name.
Loving. That's my dad's last name. Yeah, it was such a bummer when like, actually it wasn't really that much of a bummer because I used to go by David Loving like artistically, like for music or whatever, and then I ended up having to change it. Mostly for logistical reasons, like there's another David Loving that's already been releasing music a little bit longer than me, and I just didn't want the possible nightmare of like one day him being like, well, I was using it first.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fucking laws are. I'm pretty sure it's like if you're using it first and you make money using it first, you have domain over it or whatever.
Yeah. I think so.
So he like put a YouTube video out before I did. So like if he put monetization on it, and then like technically he was already doing it. So It was just that whole nightmare. And then also our shit would get mixed up on like streaming services. I didn't want to fucking deal with it. So I changed my name to now Sungrove. But I was kind of bummed because I was like, damn, like David Loving, it really is a nice name. But then I thought about like, it's a nice name for a stage name because it's my real name. Because it's like, oh, that's his actual name. That's cool. But if my name was David Smith and I chose my stage name to be David Loving, I would think that is fucking stupid. Like I would never, if that was, you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
Like I wouldn't ever choose that. It's only cool because it's actually my first, or actually my last
your real
name.
I get that all the time. People are like, your name is Stone. Why is
Yeah,
your
I was going
project
to ask
not
you
Stone?
why.
I like creating the sort of facade of a band.
Yeah.
It feels a little more impersonal. I can walk away from it at any time, and also, sort of wonderful byproduct of having named Prtty Ridiculous is I have freedom to basically do whatever I want, as long as it is in
quote unquote
it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
precisely, and that is wonderful. That's such a privilege because most people, you can kind of tell what they do, and it's on purpose. Of course, we do this as marketers as well as artists, but we name the project something that describes the environment in which we create or describes the sensation that the audience is going to get from it. And with that, I have freedom to sort of go a little apeshit. And if I made banal, LA pop hangs music, again, not dissing any of the LA pop hangs music, but I've seen all your stuff and you don't call me back.
The what?
Do you know what Pop Hangs is?
No.
It's like an LA thing. And once a month, it's basically a cabal of all the LA producers and artists. And they go up and they go, this is my song. It's about a breakup I had. And I wrote it because my ex-boyfriend said that I was too sweet. And then they play this frilly song. Literally, I went to one. I played one a few months ago. And it was a privilege. Thank you for letting us play it. I play with this artist, Tucker, who's great. And
Tucker Fleming?
No, but also Tucker. But it's this guy, his artist name is literally Tucker, all caps, and he's fantastic. His music's really fun, and it's very fun to play. And he lets me solo all over his shit, which is great, which I love. Artists who hire me, most of you give me like one solo a set. This kid gives me a solo every song, and there's 9 songs. So you use it if you got it, and
that's how I feel. That's how I feel when I play with Cole. Like I have to stop. I try to stop myself from giving him a solo every song, but like my knee-jerk reaction is like, Cole, why don't you just solo the entire set, and we'll just do that.
Again, flaunt it if you got it. And it's a good show. Like Kian gives me one solo. I'm talking to you, Kian. I get one solo.
Monsieur Kian.
I'm getting one solo.
Monsieur.
I get one. I got to make do with that one. If I fuck that one up, I look like a knob for the rest of the set.
I feel like you have one solo where it's like, all right, Stone on guitar, but I feel like there's a lot of moments where you're getting like,
oh, I love his music. His music's
you're
really
like
fun to play.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying like I feel like there's a lot of moments where, because you're saying one solo, I've seen the set 1,000 times, and I'm like, really? It's only one?
It's only one.
I feel like
more or less.
I see you playing like, you're definitely playing riffs and shit by yourself. in, like,
fucking
sections.
Well, I don't know how Kian feels about this, and he'll tell me. And sometimes in rehearsals, he'll be like, "Hey, tone it down," and I'll be like, "Okay, boss." And then live, I go, blah, 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 and I play all the notes. I do all the things he told me not to do, which he always goes, "Great," and he's very happy at the end of the show. So I've never had he's never admonished me for the amount of notes that I insert. Because I know sometimes in customer service, the song, as I refer to it affectionately as, there's like licks and stuff in between the sections. And I'll just be like, let's see how many 30-second notes I could shove into this little passage here. And I'll just play some wild shit and then end up back on the riff. And of course, there's always the drunk few people in the front row that go, yeah, and they have a great time.
You know what I always think is so funny? Like, you play with Noah, and I don't know how he is in Kian's rehearsals, but we were joking about this the other day. Whenever we have rehearsal with Noah, it seems like we'll be rehearsing the songs, and he'll like fuck up like a little bit, and he's always like, "Oh, dude, I'm so tired. Like, I didn't eat today. Like, I'm fucked up. Like, I worked all day. I'm so sorry. Like, and it'll like royally fuck up a song, and like just in rehearsal, but without fail, no matter what day of the show, he will always like just pull out the craziest fucking shit.
Yeah, no,
we were just like,
he's the best
in rehearsal. Oh fuck, dude, I'm so sorry. Like it's like literally like clockwork.
ran
Every
over my
time he
dog
feels like
this
shit
week,
for
yeah.
rehearsal, and then for the fucking show, you're just like, where did this come from? It's just fucking going off, and he never fucks up during a show.
He's the best.
Yeah.
I say it all the time. At this point, I believe I'm racking the bill up because the joke is I charge 20 for every compliment. But at this, I mean, he's great. I wouldn't hire him if he wasn't, and he's far and beyond one of the best drummers I've ever seen, and just has so much style when he does it, and that's really the most important thing for any musician or artist. It's not so much the technical capability. It's, I love the Miles Davis quote of it. 20% is the notes, and the 80% is the motherfucker playing the notes.
True.
And he has that. He has that down. He's him and I are like that as people, and then we're like that as musicians, which is even better. And of course, you have to have the people thing in order to enjoy the live performance aspect of it. And he's just so good, and really is such a solid drummer. I felt really bad. I don't know if you saw Kian's TikToks. People were just shitting on all of us.
Shut up, TikTok. Fuck you guys. You don't know the fuck you're talking about. Like, oh, customer service is so fast. Yeah, because it's fucking better. Shut up. It's a live show. Push the tempo.
I agree. It should be faster. And when we played it live, Noah was like, I'm going to slow it down. I don't know if you heard me because we had a little mini aside on stage
at
on
the
Make Out Music
show.
Yeah.
I think I heard him be like, I'm going to play it like slow.
And I went, no, you don't.
No, fuck that, dude. Fuck you, TikTok.
I went, don't do that. I was like, no, we're fucking not. And then it was like, we're playing, and I was like, it's so boring, slow.
Dude, always push the tempo.
Yeah.
Always.
I hate that people like rag on that. It's so fun. And there's so much more adrenaline, and that's why it's so fast. Just because even if I always say this when we're rehearsals, because we try very hard in the rehearsal to sort of play it at tempo, and I'm like, we're gonna play it 20 BPM faster when we're in front of however many people there are, be it 10 or 100 or 1,000 if things go as well as I hope they go for him and for myself. That's the point. It should be an exciting, different interpretation when it's live. If you wanted to hear the record, just stay home.
Yeah.
It's that's the point.
Are you gonna change a lot of the songs that you? Yeah, they're gonna like get reworked a little bit for the live set.
It's gonna be very close, but we're gonna have a lot more fun with it. Like there's extended solo sections where I don't play. I don't. There's no solos in my music, and there's a reason for that. It's I don't need to do that, and it's also not. It's just who wants to hear that? No matter how good a guitar player you are, no one wants to hear a 30-second fucking shreddy ass guitar solo on the record. However,
I disagree. I think a nice solo on a record can be nice.
When it's appropriate, I'm gonna do it. But at live, I'm gonna fucking it. If you got it, flaunt it. And live, that shit always works. People love that shit live, so I'm gonna do it all the time live. And we have remixes we've done of a lot of the songs, and the more the diehard people that love what we've been doing.
You doing any covers?
Yeah, I'm gonna do. Right now, we're definitely doing War Pigs, and then all the time I'm thinking of what else to do. I kind of want to do Good Times, Bad Times by Led Zeppelin, just because if I'm gonna sing it and play it, and I just want to look like a hero. If I'm doing the Jimmy Page and the Robert Plant part, people are gonna be like, can't take that away from the kid. And I can sing that's one of the lower Robert Plant songs. He's not, he doesn't have his balls in a vice while he's singing it. So you can actually, I can hit those notes, which is great. And I think that'd be very fun. And I just love that song. And it sort of harkens back to a lot of the music I grew up on, which is obviously the classic rock stuff. And this is entirely different than that because there's no reason to beat a dead horse, and also limitations of I don't have the studio space or the money to record a drummer, when a lot of the things that are ending up on the record are certainly born out of necessity rather than indulgence. And I like the sound of fake drums. Like I make my own kicks, I make my own snares. It's all from scratch, and they're weird sort of me playing around with stuff. A lot of it is guitar. Like a lot of the snares are guitar hits, like just and then just isotope trash. I can't say how much I love it enough. And just absolutely abusing the sample that we've then recorded and taken and thrown into an entirely different scenario. On High, the song I showed you before, coming out June 9th, the snares, when my ex had this friend, Claire, who's probably not going to watch this, but hi, Claire, if you do end up watching this.
Claire?
How you doing, Claire? She was sitting in my living room, me and Abby and her, and was one day I got home from work, and Claire is a very loud individual, and she clapped, and I was like, "You do that again?" So I whipped out my iPhone voice notes, and I just recorded her clapping, and it was like perfect. It was a great clap. The reverb in the room was nice and dirty and kind of fucked up because there's all this shit reflecting in my crap ass living room, and that's the snare. Every snare, and including the regular claps as well, unaffected. And I remember telling my ex that. She's like, Claire needs to hear this. I'm like, Claire's not going to give two fucks, but she's not getting any royalties. So,
Thanks, Claire.
Thank you, Claire. Thank you, Claire. Wherever you are today.
You use any Splice samples?
Sometimes.
I fucking love Splice.
It's great. If it's right, it's right.
Yeah.
There's no...
There's a lot of trash on there. There's a lot of fucking trash.
And not the one that I like.
Yeah, not isotope trash. But talk about like help, like quick help to get out of like writer's block or some shit like that. Like I was messing around with this one song. I'll like show you the song that I'm working on.
What's it called?
It's gonna come out in a month, and I still don't have a fucking name for it.
Nice. That's how it goes.
Yeah. But I was like fucking stuck, and I was like, yeah, like I have like this barely skeleton for it, and then 15 minutes on Splice, just kind of like going through, catching some ideas, getting some different sounds, and it just like really brought the whole thing together. So if you're ever, just a quick tip for like musicians, if you're ever recording something and you're like, I don't know, like, yeah, technically this is good, but it doesn't have like, doesn't got the sauce, Splice is a good place to find a little bit of sauce.
And a lot of stuff on Splice, I go there if I'm just feeling lazy. Because I do a lot of sound design on the recordings and a lot of the things I do myself. But sometimes it takes a while to kind of come up with that. If I don't really have an idea and there's a particular sample that I've saved or something that I like, I'm going to use it. I think it's kind of silly that people will admonish you for utilizing that sort of thing. It's a part of the creative process.
Yeah.
And it exists and it's royalty free.
Yeah.
So why not? It makes so much sense, and it's so useful. A lot of the hi-hat sounds, like I don't make my hi-hats, I make my kicks and my snares, but the hi-hats, that's a whole other ball game. And a much more skilled producer than myself can certainly probably figure out how to do that. And there are little tricks to sort of add texture and add style and a little bit of character to these samples so they don't just sound as cookie cutter as a lot of these samples do. But for Mando Beat, I remember very clearly the hi-hat sample is a coffee mug splice pack. Like it's like kitchen sounds.
Oh,
and
word.
It's like a dude hitting a fucking coffee mug with a spoon. And it was great. It was perfect. Mm-hmm. And then we just throw on Ableton, you have the frequency shifter. Mm-hmm. And that was a little trick I learned from Mr. Marvin Busau.
Thanks, Marvin.
So I'll go here. I love Marvin. We played in a band for many years. And Lithic. He was the drummer for Lithic.
Oh, word.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I remember him and I were making a track, and he did that. And I was like, cool. That's how I learned, is just watching kids like himself and Randy sort of doing their thing. And I would just sit.
When did you start like recording your own music? Because I mean,
at the beginning,
Lithic.
Basically like late 2020 is when I started producing and recording stuff.
That's
it's
like
not a long
fucking
ago.
yesterday.
Yeah, I know. Oh god.
That's crazy.
But I figured it out pretty fast. And the good thing again is a lot of the things that I make as an artist are all accidents, or they're not as clean as somebody else's, super hitchy kitchy pop tune, which are all great. I like all that stuff as well, and I listen to that stuff often. But it wasn't authentic to me, and I couldn't make that, and B, I don't have the technical skill to manifest something like that with a little time. And like we were talking about earlier, to sort of circle back to the A of how the music is made, it all happens quite fast. And generally the idea is sort of, I don't write a lot of songs at once. I write the one at any given time, and then I schedule a session with Randy to record the vocals, because I just don't like doing them myself. That's the only thing I kind of shy away from.
Why?
The room that I make all my stuff in, the office where I do all my TikToks, it's just like loud. Like there's a lot of digital interference and electrical interference.
I feel that, dude. My studio is so fucked up, dude. You can't get a clean signal at all.
And I hate tuning my vocals. I don't like doing it. It's my Achilles heel is the vocal production, and Randy is just such a master at that. So having him at my disposal is an absolute, as I said before, it's not only a luxury, it's a privilege. And I'm gonna utilize that. I'd rather pay him to mix and master and do all that than.
Does he mix and master it?
He does. For the since Hollywood Lies, he mixes it, and since, dear God, I can't remember my songs or when he started mastering them. But for the remixes, he would master them, and basically he mastered it when he would send me a final mix, and it would be loud as shit, and I'd be like, "Hey, it's fine." So we'd just throw the final mix.
What is mastering except for the make louder button? Am I right, guys?
You're asking the wrong guy. I know nothing. I know none of the technical information required to actually do my job. I just like the next song I'll show you in a little bit, which we're working on now. Kind of wild. I realized the other day there's no. The only part that repeats is the chorus, and everything else is an entirely unique section, but it still flows quite nicely. I don't know what it's called at the moment. It's called Untitled.
Love that. Yeah, I think every artist has a song called Untitled.
Yes, a bevy of them. But I really like it. And High I really loved, and I was listening to a lot of different heavy music, and I've kind of gotten back into the heavy stuff. In particular, like one of my favorite bands has always been Queens of the Stone Age, and their productions are a little messy, especially in the earlier years. Where one of my big grievances, I wish the drums were louder, because I'm a big slut for good drums, and that's why I love Noah so much. I'm a big slut for Noah Dunn, apparently, and I think I'm a good wingman for him, but I don't know, because he always shoots down my compliments in front of his suitee, whoever he's trying to court. I'm like, this is the best drummer in the city, and he goes, And I'm like, come on, take the compliment.
Yeah, but think about it, if you were like, oh, Noah's the best drummer in the city. He goes, yeah, I am. I fucking am. That's a little unbecoming.
It is a little unbecoming, but you're too kind. Come on, Noah.
Play those drums, boy.
He's great. He's the best.
He's the best.
But I love the sound of. I love distorted guitars, and I love heavy music, and I really enjoy the attitude behind a lot of it, and that's mostly what you are kind of imbibing on when you listen to this music. Is
what about the dancey stuff? Where's that coming from? Because it's that track you played for me is fucking like as dancey as fuck. Yeah. Do you listen to like EDM?
I did for a period, but I also grew up in Miami, which is when I was in high school. That's all that people listened to. Exactly, Boots and Cats all day.
Boots and Cats all day.
Boots and Cats. And I love both of those things. But it's just fit. I love Nine Inch Nails. I'm a huge fan of all of their music. And it's... I like dance music a lot. I like what it makes you do more than what they're putting on the record, if that makes sense. I like the effect it has on people. People like to dance and move around, and there's nothing quite like a great dance track. But if you can sort of meld the influence of this danciness where you want to get up and groove and you also want to punch someone in the face, that's a very special niche to operate in, and I enjoy operating in it thoroughly.
What do you think about dubstep? You don't make dubstep, but Let me go on my little dubstep spiel, and I'll get your thoughts on it. So I've said this to many people before, but obviously in this day and age, a lot of I kind of think like all the genres are kind of made, and what's left isn't necessarily like make a new genre. It's more blend genres together. And the way I'm gonna make sure that this doesn't fuck up. Okay. And the way that music is really pushed forward and genres are pushed forward and stuff like that is with technology changes. So one of the bands that pushed music forward the most was, in my opinion, and I think kind of objectively, is the Beatles. And the Beatles, the reason that they were able to push the envelope so much is because of technological advances in the studio.
100%.
And that's where, although you might think it's cringy or not, dubstep is a very important genre for music as a whole, because dubstep is a product of a technological advance. You could have never made dubstep fucking in the 80s. It was impossible. You could not do it. Yeah. Now it's possible. So like it was an important genre.
I agree.
So now, that's my whole thing. It's like until there's another technological advance to push music, I think it's mostly going to be like blending genres together, which I think you do, because you have like the crazy fucking distorted guitars, like really like, I mean, tuning your guitar down to fucking drop B flat like a fucking insane person,
drop
and
X.
really like, heavy riffs like that. But then you also got a little bit of like the shreddy stuff, just like fucking riffing it up, and then also it's on a fucking Boots and Cats fucking
on a
dance beat.
On a beat. Yeah.
So you're melding all those together. What was my original question? Do you listen to dubstep?
I did as a kid. I was sort of annexed into that interest by the peer group I was in. And again, in Miami, everyone who's from Miami will know this. It's the sort of vibe. Like a lot of the kids I grew up with in high school and middle school were really into that, and I sort of got, what's the word, assimilated into a lot of those interests just by proxy, because I was really into, I still love very heavy music, and a lot of the things that I don't find in the heavy music is the aspect of not accessibility, because that would not be the correct word, but it's almost anti all those other things, anti-pop and anti-structure and 8-minute songs, and I really do thoroughly enjoy a lot of those things on my dime, but most people don't. And it's also not the music that I hear in my head when I'm creating. As much as I want to go make like a Gojira record, because I really love Gojira, I can't. I just don't hear it occurring when I sit down in Ableton. What happens a lot of the time is I start with drums every time, and then we'll sort of move on from there to either guitar or bass, but it generally is drums then bass, and then if a riff becomes present, which is generally, what's the word I'm looking for here? I'm certainly writing for myself and then finding people who enjoy it after the fact, but I don't want, there's a reason the songs aren't 7 minutes long. There's no one who has that kind of time anymore. I certainly don't. And I just want to write a 2:30 to 3 minutes song that gets every person that I could possibly get in that center of the Venn diagram who really likes something that is extremely heavy and aggressive, but also makes you want to get out of your chair. And a lot of music tends to deal in one aspect of the emotional spectrum, and I don't find that that's what I hear. I like groove and I like drums, and I really enjoy moving as much as I'm not a dancer. I got 2 left feet planted on my hips right here, and I can't dance. I'm not going to dance, and the only time you'll see me even get close to a dance is in a music video where I do my little shimmy, and that's about as far as I'm going to go. However, I enjoy making people get out of their chair, and I enjoy making an audience happy and excited. But also, excitement for me is also fear and surprise. That's what's the best part of a good joke is
Fear.
the surprise.
Yeah.
That's what makes something funny is you don't see it coming. If you could see the punchline coming, it's not very funny. And it's sort of that same thing where I can twist your expectations in a knot, but also provide you with some kind of floor that's stable. A 4 on the floor kick with a 2 and 4 snare is remarkably stable. And that allows me a wonderful bedrock to paint on top of and then sort of build as a foundation upon. It's so freeing. And a lot of Boots and Cats music is not taking the risk
Yeah.
because it has a built-in audience and it's a wonderful money-making machine. I do not say that in a negative. I say that in a positive. All these dance DJs are racking in dough because they know who their audience is, and it's very smart, in fact. It's good business. And for me, I also don't hear that in my head. I don't hear dubstep music and from the authentic sort of creative side of me. I do not hear EDM music as a sort of umbrella term. I hear heavy music, and again, sort of to build on the previous point from a few minutes back, due to budgetary limitations, I can't hire someone like Noah to go into a studio where I'm paying $800 an hour to track drums. It just doesn't. It's not fiscally possible or responsible. And as much as I love eating mac and cheese every night, I enjoy a good filet mignon every now and then as well. I'm wearing goddamn expensive shoes and jewelry, so I like nice things. I can't get those nice things if I'm paying for drummers. It's just not possible. So if I make all those things myself and then sort of build on that structure from there, I can then be a little more free to make something that is still very authentic to me. It's still what I hear, and it's still what I enjoy. Like a lot of the artists I listen to in my car are like Ash Nico and Gojira, and that's kind of a breakneck twist right there from those two artists. But I see a lot more similarities than I do differences. And the sort of catch-all term for that is attitude. Mm-hmm. There's a remarkable amount of attitude in both of the artists I just named, and they're doing what they do not to make anybody else happy, but to sort of express some strange idea they have. And what's nice is, I wasn't really paying too much attention to what was happening in the sort of hyper-pop lexicon, or really the pop lexicon in general, even the rock lexicon, which is kind of dying slowly, which is obviously a shame. But you rock fans killed rock. I'm saying that now because you won't let anything past go. You stop everything before it happens.
It's true.
If it's not Led Zeppelin 1, it's not good enough for you. And that happened almost 60 years ago, so quit it. So when someone comes along and does something that's even a little weird, it's embraced by few and sort of, what's the word I'm looking for again? I keep losing my place here, but basically not many people can get behind it simply because it doesn't resemble something they understand. And I certainly fall into that trap myself. We've been very fortunate these last year and a half, however many months, 18 months, to have found people that really like it and some who really love it and are willing to spend their hard-earned money to support it, which I'm appreciative and very grateful for, because it's a little weird and certainly left of center. But I love a good pop hook. I mean, we all do. We all love ABBA because everyone loves ABBA because they're pop hooks, and they're great pop hooks. We all love bands like Def Leppard, and I'm not a huge Def Leppard fan, but when that shit comes on, you rock the fuck out because it's a good hook. It's great writing. Mm-hmm. And if I really can sort of combine all the elements that I really enjoy, and again, I'm very lucky. I don't have to really try to do this. If I try and do something, it's not very good.
Yeah,
it's. I think we all have that struggle where when we go into our little world and we open up the laptop and we have our guitars on and we try and write something that does this thing and we fail at it to a remarkable degree, we then come out with something that does not resemble our initial interpretation or intention. We instead have something that resembles a more authentic, I use that word a little too much, but a variation on that idea or that theme. And I've been very fortunate to access that creativity. And that's, again, why it's not me, it's a band.
The band.
Yeah, because then I can kind of step away from it.
Fuck yeah.
I could step into a character, which again is not much of a character. It's more of a exaggeration of all the aspects and elements that I can't show people during a work day. You know.
There it is. We're gonna stop now because I think our camera's gonna fucking shut off. If you guys want to know what the fuck Mr. Stone's music sounds like, Prtty Ridiculous on Spotify and the whole thing, all the Apple, yeah, the whole thing. Got anything else to plug? What's the song called?
The song is called High. It comes
High.
out June 9th. High.
June
It's spelled
9th.
H-I. June 9th. Music video June 12th. Both are absolutely insane, and very thankful to be here. Thank you, David, for having me.
You are welcome. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. All right, let's go. Let's go in the studio and fuck around and show each other some music. Bye, everybody.